$6.2 billion. So come up with the money and pay the people back. And then we'll kick you out of the business so you can't do this again.
But they won't even do that. It's like the big banks caught laundering $376 billion in 2 years. They paid a $110 million fine on it. We did the math on that. It's like, what, 0.03?
Chump change. We saw that with Michael Milken as well. He stole $3 billion, gave the government $1 billion, and lived happily ever after.
Yeah, but that was 1/3. It's like I rob a bank and I've got $5 million and I give them $100. So the cops pull up and they go, "Oh, Mr. Jones, we need the $100." I'm, "Oh, here you go. Here's 100 of the giant bags of cash I'm stealing." I mean, it's just lunacy.
Well, it shows you how systemically corrupt our system is, and it is really a criminal syndicate.
And it's getting worse, undoubtedly. All right, I want to come back, cover news headlines, and get your quick take on it in a news blitz, Bob. And then I want to get to some phone calls for financial questions for Bob Chapman. Then, of course, we'll be back this Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. Central with the syndicated radio/TV show. But, hey, I'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock, with Lord Christopher Monckton and more. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, your phone calls are coming up here in about 10 minutes for the balance of the hour. If I can get my phone system to uncrash. And the phone calls are there. It's just not displaying them to me. So that's coming up with your questions for Bob Chapman. Let me just read some of the headlines we've already gotten to and then get to some of the new ones. I mentioned these earlier, but I didn't have it in my hand. Daily Mail, we're on our own now. Cameron uses the veto for first time to opt out of new treaty to save the euro and give more power to Brussels. Doesn't save the euro. They always designed it to implode. They admit that, to give them unlimited power. Just incredible power grab happening, economic domination. And they scapegoat Germany like it's running it all. The bureaucrats, the globalists, it's the banks. Germany's fitting the bill. Again, they always spin it off onto some scapegoat. The Germans never could had a vote to enter this. The Germans don't want to bail out. They want out of the euro. They don't want to give people money. Continuing, Le Snub. Moment Sarkozy dodges Cameron's handshake with a swift body swerve after Prime Minister says no to treaty changes. So here's another one. Merkozy, that's Merkel and Sarkozy combined. Letter to EU, now is the time to strip countries of sovereignty. I mean, they admit they won't even be countries anymore. Unbelievable. Here's another one. UN calls for eco-fascist world government at Durban summit. And we are going to have Lord Christopher Monckton on tonight from South Africa. Bureaucrats in the UN Climate Summit in Durban have outlined plans for the most draconian, harebrained, and madcap climate change treaty ever produced. And each country and each individual will have their climate debt, of course, paid to the bankers. You can't make this up. And that dovetails with dust from hay, $10,000 fine. Tilling the soil a crime against Earth. Here in America, of course, not on other countries. It's the globalists have invested in other countries. They want to shut us down. Oh, my gosh. Continuing here, we've got all of those reports. By the way, that's out of the Hill newspaper. That's not me saying that. You can't make this stuff up. Hey, you can't have a garden in your yard. Hey, you can't sell lemonade. Hey, you can't sell raw milk. The Austin police chief didn't believe me when I said, no, they arrest people for selling raw milk. No, they have year-long stings. He's like, come on, Alex, knock it off. I mean, I don't know how he could be charming and seem smart, the Austin police chief, and not know all this stuff's going on. I mean, who are these people in the system that are just so willfully ignorant of everything? Now, he didn't try to weasel out of the whole thing with the Fast and Furious, which is confirmed now to be totally staged in the government memos, to be blamed on the Second Amendment. I want to get Bob's take on that. And also, speaking of that, Eric Holder yesterday, we played the clip in the first hour, he says that no one at the DOJ has ever lied. And that even though they said that they weren't over it, it was their intent. Yes, they knowingly lied, but they didn't intend to mislead Congress. More lawyer games. Bob Chapman, what do you make of the Fast and Furious, the latest information on that front? And then what do you make of, in Tennessee, News 5 reports, they are going door to door asking about firearms, guns, preparedness. And the article's like it's no big deal. It's just innocuous. Doesn't mention that. We've talked to the folks on the ground. It says there's 22 questions, but they don't, Bob, they don't ask you, you know, about things except your food and firearms and stuff. But the article doesn't even tell people that. Bob, what's your take on just all this craziness?
Well, they're lining everybody up. They'll test it there in Tennessee, and the next thing you know, it'll be all over the country, and everybody will expect it. And they'll come with their questions, and they answer their questions. It's just that you don't tell them you get food. You don't tell them that you grow food in the backyard. You don't tell them you got any guns. If they ask you, say no.
Well,
you're not under subpoena. You don't have to tell them anything.
Yeah, I don't even answer the door. And when the census person keeps banging open the door, and I say, look, criminal, I don't care that you're a monkey and got a tag. They're saying you're some federal officer. It's illegal to come here and ask me all these questions. You can ask me, how many people live here? Now, are you going to leave if I tell you that? Or are you going to sit there with your fake 50-question garbage? And they say, sir, it is the law. And I go, then call the cops. I slam the door on them. I'm sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, that bears out what I'm saying. Don't tell them. Lie to them. I mean, that's all they do. I mean, let's play their game. And so you don't tell them you've got anything. And as we now know, they're going to bulk food manufacturers and asking, which we did a program on, I guess, yesterday, who's buying all the food. And that's why I told, I started telling people to buy food in 1965. Now, of course, the 2 batches they bought in between they've eaten since, but the food was always good. And it's better today the way it's prepared. But like Steve said, it is the most important thing besides water. I mean, you've got to have those 2 things. And you don't want to let the government or anybody else know what you've got.
Well,
and
I mean, the fact that...
grandchildren, don't you tell anything to anybody about anything that you've got.
What do you think of Holder just caught red-handed lying and saying, well, I didn't intend to mislead you? In certified testimony, he was running the whole operation. It's all been confirmed. And he just sits there and says, well, I didn't mean to be misleading when I lied to you. I mean, what an incredible criminal.
Well, that's right. And that's what this has evolved to. There's always been lying. Go back to the 3rd century before Christ. You've got the same thing. But it has been refined today into a very fine art. And they all do it. It's a criminal syndicate, and you can expect them from them. You can't expect a level playing field or a fair legal field for you to operate in. You can't count on the courts and the law to defend you. You've got to do what you have to do to survive. And
some people say, well, why should I have gold or silver or firearms? They might take it. Well, why not go jump off a cliff now? Because somebody might kill you. The world's always tried to take what you've got. That's why we've had checks and balances to try to protect ourselves. Now they're going out the window. We're all in danger. What do you make of the NDAA passing and the indefinite detention of citizens, military on the street, them undoing that now, and the FEMA documents we got where they've got Kellogg, Brown, and Root, who built the camps, that's Wall Street Journal 6 years ago, now actually preparing to man them. Does that not show us that they're really concerned about collapse?
Yeah, and the outcome of collapse, which is chaos, and they'll put people in these camps to save them from all the chaos, when in fact it's a suppression technique. But it was to be expected because America didn't do what it could have done during the 70s and 80s and 90s to stop these people. Nobody wanted to pay attention, and they're still in denial. And they're getting information now from yourself and others all over the world, and there's no excuse for them to be in the position that they're in today. And
but I've been to I've been to a picnic, a rodeo, and a World's Fair, and I've never seen, Bob, them actually prepare to activate the camps and to fully staff them. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's true. And now they have the reason to do it through this legislation. And, of course, throwing these senators out of office and the congressmen at the House, that's going to help. But it's a little bit late, isn't it? I mean, this shows you the dynamics, the absolute positive reason to have Ron Paul as our next president and people like him in Congress. If we can accomplish that, we can beat these people. We could turn all this stuff around.
By the way, there's hit pieces out today by the dozen saying Ron Paul, okay, he's probably going to win Iowa, but it's just a fluke. Ignore him. He's been in second or third place for the last 6 months. Everybody else falls by the wayside. There are so many skeletons in Gingrich's closet that he'll never be president. He's a ringer. I mean, and they keep trying the mantra, Ron Paul can't win, Ron Paul can't win. God literally always works this way. Here is a great part of the solution, a sign that America wants to go back to the Constitution. Here he is on a silver platter, but you notice he's not, a Ken doll liar, with a cutesy suit and everything. He's an old man, but he's a statesman and a scholar. Here is our chance. And if America lets these criminals keep us from electing Ron Paul, but see, here's the thing. They know Iowa's a caucus state where it's old-fashioned hands. That's why they know he's going to win. They plan on cheating in the other areas with the machines. But again, they're so scared, Bob, because if he wins in Iowa and then starts winning in landslides, then their machines, it's been proven, get caught if they can only cheat in 5 to 10 point increments. They can't, too big a cheat from the experts I agree with, Bev Harris and others, too big a cheat, they can't do it.
Well, let's put them there. It means the existence of every one of you, children, grandchildren, all your progeny for centuries to come will even live in bondage if you don't elect that man. I can't tell you strongly enough. I've been in this for 53 years, and his life has run parallel to mine. Only he was a doctor and I was a stockbroker. But we're only 2 months apart. That has nothing to do with anything. But anyway.
No, it does. People that you're born, people that you're born at the same time, you're from the same culture, same everything. It's same experiences. It's like broodmates or something. Now, I want to go to Tim, Nancy, John, Kevin, and Phil, and we'll do a little bit of overdrive. We'll finish that with Bob Chapman. But I briefly wanted to do some plugs here. You can get a free year subscription either in hard copy or digital, which is a $159 value when you buy one gold franc from Midas Resources. And the gold franc's at a great price, 800-686-2237. If you want to get a complimentary copy, you can just call them. They'll send you a hard copy or an email version. It is invaluable reading. Again, you can go to Midas Resources and find that online, or 800-686-2237. And lastly, we're only running this until Christmas. All 18 of my films on DVD are $99.95. That's 70% off. I've never offered anything even near this. I mean, I've never even offered 50% off on the Everything Special. This is 70% off, and you can do all your Christmas shopping at once and support the InfoWar. You know we're fighting hard, folks. You know we're at the tip of the spear here. So, again, you can get all 18 of my films that are on DVD, Infowars.com, and In the Fed bumper stickers and a Citizen Rule book. All of that, $99.95. And we're running a special right now, 70% off of that special, 44% off on a yearly membership for the nightly news and the daily video stream of the show and all the films at prisonplanet.tv. And a few months ago, we got a lot of new members, and it would kind of get slow at times and stuff, but we've upgraded everything now. It's super fast, even at peak times. And I appreciate all of you that are prisonplanet.tv members. Again, prisonplanet.tv if you need any help or have any questions about